Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Let's just wait and see. Make sure YouTube's doing its thing here. Boom. Daily Brief Recap. Oh, look at that. Actually, I have my microphone a little far away. You can really hear the difference. I was wondering. So I'll bring the microphone a little closer. Hopefully, I didn't disconnect it. All right, there we go. All right, so I had a great session today, daily brief. Kevin actually is a active participant in our TRI-SOF club. Frankly speaking, I couldn't do all the stuff we do on the site without all these wonderful people here. So, thank you so much, Kevin, for quarterbacking that last night. And he did a follow-up report on the daily brief for all the good people today of the various different things we were looking at last night. So super, super awesome dovetail experience. As you sort of see on the screen here, we're in an uppy market. So it's not like we're like, oh, the sky's falling. It's a rich market. That's probably the way that I would look at it. If somebody sneezes, how ironic. I suppose there's lots of people sneezing. If somebody farts the wrong way, you could see the prices come off here dramatically. I'm not really expecting any farts. If anything, I'm feeling as though, the U.S. market itself will be closed tomorrow. And we're into sort of that funny holiday window. You can almost kind of feel it in the market right now. It's not really an aggressive sell push anywhere in earnest, and lack of sellers. And also, I think we had a little bit of a drawdown on the EIA numbers today, helping that crude market support itself, and a lack of serious sellers. Market's pretty uppy. Interesting. We keep seeing this disconnect. The bigger stocks are kind of just parked. And like I said, they're pretty richly valued. You can't really argue that the stock market is cheap. But we're seeing a dramatic outperformance from the junior part of the market. Also, too, in crypto, same sort of thing. We're seeing, Ethereum did just hit a big 38.2 fib, so not really a big surprise that maybe we're starting to run out of steam here. The corn's just sort of grinding its way higher, not really face ripping anymore, so that's good. It might even mean that we have more face rip to go before the rest of this is done. I just get the feeling that a bit of the bid is coming back in on the venture part of the crypto market, exactly the same as we're seeing in the stock market. So, bit of a rotation. I get the feeling, like I said, think of Bitcoin, think of Ethereum. Hell, now you can even say think of Litecoin. I mean, they've jumped up quite a bit. So I wouldn't be surprised there's people in the market just sniffing around different areas going, hey, look at that one. It's still at the bottom end of its range. Hey, look at there's volume coming in. Hey, there's a W. Whoa, I'll be darned. W's, indicators confirming bullishness. Location, that sounds to me like we got trade ideas forming here. So, put it all together. Make no mistake about it. I mean, you see where this fear greed index here is in crypto land. The whole damn market is lifting up into this big celestial event, which kind of bothers me because I do believe that what has to happen now is probably, I wouldn't even be surprised. Remember, Bitcoin put in its top in early 2017, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been or late 2017. It might have been early 2018. I think it was late 2017, and literally one solid year of down and made its bottom literally exactly 365 days later. So don't be shocked, the way that the market's acting here. Don't be shocked if we actually have a full year of we have to go right back down and go explore all those lows again. That's not today. And big long-term celestial event windows are not for gee whiz almost a full month here. So there's going to be a lot of craziness between now and this event. And what's interesting is I think this is the big catalyst. But interestingly enough, the release of the energy, I think, comes on the 27th, which is interesting celestially. That's a whole other conversation altogether because, we're going to have a holiday for Boxing Day. So, where is the last day if you actually wanted to sell or if you wanted to prop markets up so you can sell at high prices? When's the last day that you're really going to be thinking about that? I get the impression it's probably going to be like Thursday, the 24th. So Sunday just so happens to, or 27th, which is the release date, happens to fall on the weekend. And then, there's going to be holidays around the Boxing Day. This is going to be just absolute messy around here. But that's a month away. We don't have to worry about that now. For now, things are still pointing up. Make hay while the sun's shining. I mean, I just keep, the market keeps paying me. Fine, I'll just keep making money. I was actually quite surprised to see, for whatever it's worth, it's not really worth anything. But the amount of money that I have working in the market, I'm actually up 50% on my capital year to date. I couldn't believe that 50% return. That's crazy. So I don't know where the hell it is I wanted to show you, but this is what I do, right? When the market tells me to take some profits, and I force myself to take profits. I don't have any choice. Want to be a demonstrator of best practices. Want to put myself into a position of strength. I can't get hurt by this name now. Blah, 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 blah. Just throw it on the free pile of stocks and move on to the next one. But that's the kind of market it is. If the market wants to pay me, fine. I'll take your money. More than happy. With regard to, and actually this is interesting, right? Because what we were sort of talking about there earlier, this is a 4-hour chart, but long and short of it here, that's last Friday's close. You could actually argue Bitcoin really hasn't done a hell of a lot here almost now. What is today, Wednesday? It's almost a week. Little junior market just coming alive here. Woohoo! And of course, that's the same as the little junior market in the stock market. So you can actually really see stocks, big blue chip stocks kind of parked, big blue chip crypto kind of parked. Little junior part of the market just going ape shit right now. So, if you can trade a plan, take advantage of this, awesome. Go for it. Do it. If you don't have a plan, you're coming in just willy-nilly, be careful. This is the kind of market where sadly the public comes in and buys up top here, think Mr. Barstool, that kind of stuff. And then they spend the next 6 months having to sit on a losing trade. So, if you've got a plan, you have your setups, and you know what to look for, and you're hunting, bam, this is a killer market. And there's lots and lots of doubles to be had. I think just over the past 2 or 3 days, I've banged out about 3 or 4 doubles. So not a bad market at all. And look at these cute little W's coming in on altcoins. Remember I said just a moment ago. I mean, I don't know what the hell these guys do. Kyber Network versus Ethereum. But location, we're below value. I think we're at the bottom end of the range. And what kind of letter of the alphabet does that look like? So, that's the irony of this game is, when this thing goes popping up here, then the public, of course, will be all interested and rah, rah, rah. But as it's sort of putting in its bottom, nobody's really interested in this stuff. It's just one example. I mean, there was tons of them. I mean, they're all over the place. So go figure, eh? Back to your conversation, just a simple overview. U.S. dollar still pointing lower. And actually, I even put out a tweet to the public because I think it's important just to clarify here. You guys have probably heard me say this before, and I can pretty much set my entire career by this. Brian is usually right. Way to go, Brian. Problem is, Brian is usually early. So I officially, as of about a year and a half ago, actually turned into a 15-year US dollar bull. And interestingly enough, these fibs that you see on this screen just alone here, this is the 3-year range. So even right now, we're actually only at about 66% correction of that range. The lows are still way down here. So could I see the market come down and test those lows through that Jupiter Saturn huge celestial event? Sure. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This chart does look very heavy still. This is where the market should bottom. How these bottoms look specifically through these events, it's a mug's game. I mean, you could probably have 100 different predictions and they'll all look different, and all of them will be wrong. This is sort of my hunch of what I think this turn's going to look like. There's no guarantees in any of this. Would I go and buy a whole bunch of US dollars and take that risk right here, right now, with this celestial event still a good month ahead of us? No. Would I go and accumulate call options, which the maximum risk is the purchase price of the option, looking for a counter trend rally up into the spring and summer of next year? Absolutely. And I am doing that. So hopefully that clarifies a little bit better of what I'm sort of thinking here about US dollar index over the next month or two. This is going to be really, really choppy through this celestial event. The one area of the market that actually doesn't correspond with this, that just has me leaving totally head scratched, is how the gold market just can't buy a friend in here. Has indeed Bitcoin now been accepted by sort of money managers and fund managers and, you know, pension people trying to offset inflation risk by buying Bitcoin instead of gold? That definitely could be the case. Really sad for the gold bugs. I think I told you recently I was interested in hunting some gold names to play another move up top. And the gold stocks themselves just look horrible. So definitely a head scratcher. If the US dollar dumps here, we historically should have seen gold rally. But I got a funny feeling Bitcoin has officially eaten gold's lunch here. One thing that did jump out at me recently that kind of surprised me, but I mean, this is why it's not really a good idea to get into the prediction game business. You just got to follow the chart marks and see what happens. This oil market is just on a tear. We had sort of suggested that if we had this M top come in, that we'd probably try and take another shot on the short side, but never came in. And also, too, we were going to watch closely how she would act up against these old highs. No signs of failure here. So that's all got to be taken off the screen. I suppose one might argue. And the interesting thing about Crude, which drove me crazy, was you probably won't see it here, but you could probably see it over here. The profile just looked all wrong. Especially if we look after this. Right? If we just go, actually, here, why don't we look at like a futures contract that doesn't have that nonsense? So this is the May 2021 futures contract. And I remember we looked at this contract in earnest. And actually, if we go back to say like there, and something just didn't look right about this profile. It was completely empty. And theoretically, what should happen, especially if we look at it like that, yeah, that's what I was really shooting for. Ideally, market is what they call a price discovery process, and what should happen, believe it or not, is this profile should actually look like a parabola, where the POC is the midpoint of the parabola, and you can see, through this dump, there was a bit of volume that came in here, but there just wasn't much up here done. And so this really represented a kind of a conundrum for me because, if we do things like reload zones, we should be thinking, up in here, there's 61.8, there's 78.6. You can see all these gaps. You can see the original structural fail level. And we were hunting shorts and all this. But looking at this profile going, geez, there's something just not right about this. Price should actually trade up in this area and fill out this profile so that it looks like a parabola. I was musing about that as we were going through all this. It didn't coalesce or congeal into an idea. But what a surprise. I think now the market is now going to go up. and now actually fill in that profile up top. And I suppose you could argue, just looking at this chart, this is now, to me, this looks like an AB CD. So pointing up into that $50 area there. And then we also have AB, yellow, CD, and that is also pointing up into $52. Which, what a coincidence, going to do nothing more than just fill in all these empty holes on this contract. You can see, look at that, right up against good old Kavarkinator's 88.6 level there. See those gaps? So, I mean, I've told you repeatedly, and I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not an oil bull. In fact, I would actually say that oil should be a bear now for the next 15, 20 years. All the writing on the wall makes perfect sense. And, also too, if tax policy is going to change and you're long a whole bunch of crude, where do you really want to be short from? Hopefully you can see there's actually the original M top. So they're actually highly incentivized to get that fucking crude up there, sell everything they can before January 1st, and just get completely out of the oil business. That's what I think is going to happen here, folks. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Good old crony capitalism. And actually, it's kind of sad. I am seeing a lot of market manipulation in here, which simply tells me that we're not really in a free market anymore. This is a highly, highly finessed, highly manipulated markets. Anyway, welcome to 21st century capitalism. And the irony of it all is, you know what the solution is to actually clean all this shit up? Is they just have to let the market break. You got to let all these companies that are technically bankrupt, carrying just ridiculous amounts of debt on their books and just rolling it over. You got to make these companies go bankrupt. And we got to wash the whole system out. And then the market will go back to being a free trading market. I don't even know if that's going to happen in my lifetime. My hunch is, the plan is, the banks are loaded up on debt right now. Interest rates are really low. I think they want to shill debt to the public, get the public loaded up on debt, then force them into slavery over the next, basically 35 years. Interest rates will be going up, and they'll constantly be refinancing at higher and higher interest rates. So that means that they're going to keep the economy well bid, I think, probably through this Biden presidency, and propped up. They'll sort of use COVID and COVID recovery and, millennial reset and generational reset bullshit. And, we're finally going to be friendly with the environment. But you're going to find that 10, 20 years from now, all of the policies that they said were environmentally friendly were full of lies and bullshit. I mean, trust me, I lived through the whole fucking, what was that? VW and their diesel emissions. That was an outright blatant lie. But it was sold, and this is a major corporation, 1% of our society. So don't think it's just these stupid crypto kids that come out, Cabbage Coin, with blatant, brutal corruption. It goes all the way up to the top. But that VW Motors diesel scandal was a fraud, and it was a complete lie. And it was a sell. It was a pitch all about environmental. Great. They called it, what did they call it? Clean diesel. I mean, what a joke. So don't kid yourself. Don't con yourself into thinking that, this is going to be some great green revolution. It is going to line somebody's pockets. So all the, generational reset, all the millennial reset, all the, environmental causes and all that. Don't get conned into they're actually doing it for a good reason. Somebody's pockets are getting lined through this. Anyway, so my hunch is this sort of fugazi game goes on until interest rates are nice and juicy. The public is loaded up with debt. And my hunch is they're going to ramp this thing up into that sort of late 2020s, early 2030s. Horrendous blow off top. Everybody's stinking rich, I think 1920s. And then the trap is shut. And the public, we probably go through a Great Depression, that kind of stuff. But not this go round, because the banks hold the paper right now, and the banks don't want to get caught. So there's no fucking way they're going to let the whole thing collapse now. All right, rant over. Sorry about that. Wow, that sure was a tangent. Back to our fun. And actually, it's interesting just looking at that chart I just showed you there a moment ago. We're getting kind of impression here, and I wouldn't be surprised. You guys all saw this in Bitcoin last year, or I guess a year or two ago. But like if we think about the stock market, I would not be surprised that this thing actually tops on the 1 year anniversary of that bottom last year. So believe it or not, I actually could see this stock market. You see the W. Remember we said we got to wait for the resolution on the other side. I mean, this fucker could start just cranking higher here again. And I wouldn't be surprised. Remember that Bitcoin, it topped at the end of 17 and it bottomed literally the end of 18, exactly 1 year anniversary. I wouldn't be surprised to see this exact same thing happen here. So just be aware of that. I think it's always a good idea to have some insurance on the books. I do like having some of the bear ETFs, some of their options. But remember, the amount of money that I put into an option, that's the maximum risk. So, and if I bang out a double on a trade, well, I just paid for the option premium there if I keep all my bets the same size. So I'll go and buy a bit of insurance. If we do crap out, well, okay, the insurance policies pay off. If we just keep working higher, then I'll just keep banging out doubles and doing what I do in stockland. Same sort of thing in crypto, same logic. Okay, back to our story. Oh boy. Wow, Brian sure went off there today. Where are we here? I'm gonna go here. So US dollar still working its way lower. I went and bought a call there for January leap 2022. Stock market, I like the idea that following that November Jupiter Saturn, well, it was Jupiter Earth Pluto conjunct, and then the release following it. I do like the idea of risk moving higher here. And just that, frankly, I'm a little surprised that the big cap stocks, they're just stuck in the mud. Like if we look at these big US stocks, the tech stocks, they're just sort of sitting there. You can see they're all trying. Yeah, okay, are we ready to W out and ready to start rocking and rolling? There's no W there. But like the Goog, right? Goog's really interesting battle. The other day I said, wow, that sure looks risky. But they might just go bull flag this out. And like I showed you with that S&P, we might just get ready to crank higher. And Kevin was telling everybody today that he's trading the Russell 2000 futures, and it's just on a fucking tear right now. So kind of like Bitcoin. I don't know whether it's a good idea to really step in front of this market in earnest, especially with the holiday weekend. Don't step in front of the market ahead of that. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, after the holiday, we might see some sort of tradable top, but into that, maybe just cool your jets. Like I said, the one surprising part of this market is this silly gold market. Even silver's doing better than gold right now. So that's got to be a good vote about the economy. Oh, Brian went off on another tangent again. Jesus Christ. Hey, caramba. Okay, so we talked lots about oil. Looks like it's heading higher. All the TRI SOF kids trading those oil stocks, they're all happy. Brian's left behind. Big cap stocks kind of doing nothing. Small cap stocks just on an absolute tear, banging out doubles. Bond market, an up day. So interesting how that's sort of just paused here. I would have expected stocks move higher, oil move higher, bonds move down with the gold. So actually, I'm a little surprised that the bonds are actually as strong as they are. Junior market just going ape shit. Bitcoin, I told you recently that it felt like we were in this trading channel. I've been posting this channel here on the site for the past few days. Home on the channel. Yeah, I think we're still stuck in this channel. We did have a little perk up 2 new highs heading into that New York kill zone. The New York boys said, get your ass back down there. Because of that new high, I would expect that at some point we'll probably have to go back up and test that high again. Not really a trade here. And again, I don't know whether it's really a good idea to step too hard in front of this. I think I told you guys last week I did go and buy like a June put option here. So if we get one of those typical crypto fuck yous, I mean, they happen. Just if you're going to play this space, you got to understand that this space is notorious for just these flash crashes that seem to just pop up out of nowhere. Is it going to be some sort of regulator news? Is it going to be, one of these exchanges? Is it going to be, I think the Binance right now is shitting on the Americans again. I don't know. You never know what the hell the reason du jour is, but you can see we've come an awful long way just going one directional here. Don't be shocked. I mean, I'm not saying it's here. Certainly don't have a trade. This is why I like buying those put options. There's 30. Actually, that's 61.8. Where's 38.2? 38.2, where are you? There you are. 15,700, which would be basically, look left. Where was the last time we saw actual W's come in earnest? I mean, I don't know whether, I suppose you could argue there's some support in here. But at any given point in time, I always tell my audience, any given point in time, you should expect 38.2 retracements. So I'm not saying it's happening now. And like I said, we just went to new highs, so I don't think it's today. But at any given point in time, this fucker could puke out here. Don't be shocked. And also, too, we're coming into that holiday weekend. We probably are going to see, FYI, TRI's got one of these Black Friday deals. Julian's doing a video on the site tomorrow, so we'll be very specific. And I think he kind of officially wanted to launch it through his offering on the Daily Brief. But we basically said if you are interested in the Black Friday deal that's coming up here, it's going to be primarily on the school programs. We did it sort of very short notice, so we didn't really do anything for basic site memberships. But if you are interested in the school program, you want to get a little email letter from Julian telling you that the Black Friday event is open. And you can learn the details of it. Pop on this page, join.therationalinvestor.com/waitlist. There was somebody on YouTube the other day that said, hey, I tried to sign up on this and it didn't work. Julian assured me that the page was working. He tried again this morning, so just keep banging away. You should be able to get something done there. And as I said, tomorrow we'll do sort of a more formal, Julian's sort of the business side of TRI. Of course, I think I've told you I'm sort of the pretty face. I look good in a bikini, all that kind of stuff. Julian, I like the idea that Julian's sort of the business side of the business. And of course, Stuart is the technology guy. So if anything, it's probably better that Julian specifically outline what the terms are. I just don't know whether we can get him to do one of those free videos. Maybe I'll work with him tomorrow and see if we can just do a quick little free video so you guys over on YouTube on the free stream can actually get to know Julian. Very, very sharp trader. He is our James Bond on the site. So if you know what type of personality type James Bond is, then you know what type of personality type Julian is. So anything to do here? Not really. I wouldn't be surprised if we keep just grinding our way higher through this channel for now. And as I said, at any given point in time, if this thing pukes out, at any given point in time, don't be shocked if you see 38.2 pullbacks. All right. And then, of course, the junior market. And I think I started the video off with, man, there's so many of these altcoins that are putting in W's. It's ridiculous. They're everywhere. And, like I followed tons of them on my screen. So I'm watching everything all over the place. We talked about that ZEC bot. You can see it's just working away. Look at waves. Holy, but Jesus, what a trade. Kavarkinator told me that he actually just had a meeting with the Russian mafia, and they have given him the green light to run this thing to $5 million a coin. What? Just kidding. One of these days, that Russian mafia thing's going to come back and bite me in the ass. I know it is. Anyway, uh, if you're a fan of Waves, then man, you are a happy camper today. Way to go, Waves fans. But they're all over the place. I mean, I'm a fan of Digi. Digi's got a cute little bot working. You can see versus Bitcoin's even got a W. Look at these ones. Gollum. Look at that W coming in there. Look at this one. Go. I did notice that the DeFi names are all coming to life here again. Picked up a little bit of Ubic there. I had that stink bid working forever, so nice to see that idea is working. I noticed that his little buddy Geo was jumping up yesterday. I mean, look at all these little jumpers. Jumpy jump, jumpy jump. Library credits, turn the corner. Man, we're looking like geniuses coming in off the bottom end of the range there. So we'll see what happens. What do you think? What's the odds of this thing trading back to that level and giving me a free trade for the rest of my life? I'd say probably pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about that buy. And that's the kind of market we're in right now, guys. I mean, it's look at them all. Little uppy, little pivot. Nothing there. Yeah, maybe a W channel. I mean, they're all over the place. In fact, actually, that well, I mean, there's so many. I'm gonna just go through the list here. One thing actually I don't like about this is actually if we really wanted to get ready for a big honking crypto rally, rallying into the end of the year is not what we want to see. What I think is happening here is they're bidding prices up, just like I said. It's not an accident. I mean, these people deal in hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. They got a lot on the line. So might as well bid this market up too, let all this shit go into the end of the year and pay that reduced tax rate. And then, let the whole damn market settle back down again. Who knows? We don't even know if Biden actually can change the tax code. But, he's got the wind at his back right now. And with all the COVID nonsense, I think they can fugazi the public into believing that they can shill more debt. And that will allow the Federal Reserve to shill even more debt to the public using that as collateral. So I think the game is underway. And it doesn't surprise me that they're probably going to bid this shit up too into year end as well. So if you can take advantage, I would highly encourage you to do so. I'm just trying to see if there's any other charts here that really jumped out at me. I noticed I went in and picked up some of that stake, and now they're ramping him back up, Tom. Yeah. If anything, what I'm noticing with Ethereum, and you might see this with DeFi, is I think they were bidding this thing up into some sort of level here, but now that's going to kind of exhaust itself. So if anything, I like the idea that now the DeFi names can actually start consolidating and pushing higher. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. So, altcoins feeling much happier. Like I showed you there, I guess it was off of this screen. Yeah, there's some cute little, no, I guess this is the stock market stuff. Holy Jesus, look at our mushroom stock go, Kevin. Magic mushrooms for the win. Oh man, this is a crazy ass stock market. Get out there and have some fun, people. Oh, yeah. I don't know how long I've been talking today. Hopefully, you got some good value. Actually, I did hear some people even on YouTube were posting, hey, I got a double on the mushrooms. Thanks, Brian. So, hey, what the hell? Have some fun. PMA for the win. If you want to come and learn how professionals build trading plans and set themselves up so they're not riddled with anxiety when they come into the market on a daily basis to make money from trading, well, you might want to consider joining our education program. I think it's actually received very well from the community. And as I said, we have a little bit of a treat here for you for the Black Friday deal. So, all right, everybody, I think I'm going to try and stop talking now. Have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye for now.